estrogen in his body.
Yeah.
But Andy
He sounds
Vincent,
like he's on helium.
Yeah, he's running that helium. We're going to hear your disgusting voice right now, Nickerson.
Recorded live at Super Training Gym in Sacramento, California. This is Mark Bell's PowerCast, sponsored by ThePowerMagazine.com, HowMuchYouBench.net, and BSN, makers of NO Explode. Look for BSN products at Bodybuilding.com, alongside Silent Mike and Jim McGee.
I'm just jealous. I mean, that's really all
Mark
it is.
Bell.
He's so good.
You talking about who's good?
Yo, turn the snare up on my headphones.
Yeah.
Nickerson, he's got a great voice. But
does.
Andy Vincent, I mean,
Shits on him.
fans, let us know. You know, and you guys that heard the Vincent Brothers podcast,
If you didn't, go back and listen to it.
go back and listen to it. Andy Vincent had a hell of a voice, and I think we should have a voiceover off between him and Dick Lickerson.
Yeah. Like Pitch Perfect.
What do you think, fans, huh?
Like a Pitch Perfect battle.
I'm not hearing anything from the fans. Not saying
Andy
anything.
has an amazing voice. He really does.
I think
And he does have an amazing voice.
wonder if
He does.
And he does. I wonder if he can sing. That's a question. Like he sings like
no, he'll
like
blow out the fucking headphones.
bass, serious bass.
What
He's
if he could be the bass
bass
guy
and
in
bass.
Pitch Perfect though?
You look up like
Pitch Perfect 2.
Yeah, I'm so stoked.
you look up.
I
like,
know one of the girls in it. Well,
No.
kind of. She was in my car. She was
Look
drunk.
up like growth hormone abuse,
Biblically?
and you would find Andy
Biblically
Vincent.
No, she was actually drunk, and I was driving her around.
Okay.
Pitch
Right?
Perfect. Yeah.
If you looked up like growth hormone or growth hormone abuse, you'd find like,
Or like,
a Neanderthal like Andy Vincent.
Yeah.
But estrogen overload
he-
would unfortunately be his brother Matt.
Yeah. Andy may be the missing link. That guy's just a
I
fucking...
hope Matt's not listening. He's gonna cry
He listens to every one. What a nerd.
while like reading 10 books or something.
Or riding a
He
bicycle.
reads every book.
And watches every lame movie.
You can't talk to him about movies or anything that's on TV because he's like, it's not like the book. It's like, fuck you. I don't care about the fucking book. I'm
wait
trying to
for the
watch
movie
a
to come
fucking
out.
TV show.
Yeah, he's the
God
worst.
damn it.
I heard a great quote about being a nerd. It's not what you're into, it's how you're into it.
That's
that makes
true.
you a nerd.
That's true. You hear that, Matt Vincent? You, my friend,
Yeah, you son
are
of a bitch
nerd.
down there with all the vampires.
Fucking winning Highland Games championships and being all athletic and shit and sinewy. Fuck that.
Vampire penis.
Anyway, Silent Mike and I, we were talking about trying to get to the bottom of a protein
so bad.
bucket. Like, first of all, even the 5-pound buckets, you know, we got a mini bucket here of aminos that some of you can't see. Some of you watching on the YouTubes can see. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The top is always small, and you can't fit your freaking fat hand in
And
there.
to be fair, you're above average sized man.
Okay, I have an obese hand. I'll admit it.
But I'm fairly average.
I have obese hands. You want me to say it here on the air?
Yeah.
I got obese hands.
You got fat hands.
My name's Mark Bell, and I have obese hands. My hands need to
Thanks
go on
for
a diet.
coming. Thanks for coming today,
My
Mark.
hands are going to go on a diet on Monday, and then my face.
No, your face, keep it. It's beautiful.
Monday's
Like it
tomorrow.
fluffy?
Yeah,
so-
Monday's tomorrow. Son of a bitch.
Make-
Tuesday.
make it next Monday.
But my hands are pretty average, and I can't get to the bottom either. You get this thing going on, and you're trying to get, and you get shaky because you're already high on endo rush. And then
Yeah.
your arms
Maybe you
shake,
need-
you get the bye-byes.
Get the triceps going.
Maybe you need to lube up before you
You need
get in there.
an extender spoon. So, oh my gosh, BSN, if you're listening.
It's like, you know, it's like $74 for a giant bucket of protein, and then you can't get all the way down to the very bottom. Like,
Okay,
not because you can't fit your hand in there, but just because of like the
There's a
logistics of
curve.
the powder. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all curved at the bottom.
So
They tried to curve theirs up, which is nice of them, but it still doesn't work.
I hate when mine curves up.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just talking.
Curving up would be nice.
I said the handle's too long, and you made a good point. Well, then we can't reach down there. And what I meant by the handle's too long is the longer it is, you can't control it. So what we need is a small one. I'm going to demonstrate and then talk about it.
Mike is demonstrating here with this little scooper.
So you get a small handle, and then it extends like those pointers that professors use.
You want them to put extends in their aminos?
That would be fucking genius, right? So if my thing was small, and then it could go dunk, 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 and then it would be like from a
got
2-inch handle to about an 8-inch handle, and I could get deep into my true mass protein.
You want it to be
You know-
a grower, not a shower?
Exactly.
You want a
This
grower,
one's-
not a shower.
This one's a
scooper.
shower, and I need a grower scooper.
Oh, my God.
That would
That's
solve
great.
all the issues, like a 8-inch average one.
But I get powder all over the counter. My wife's like, "What?
Yeah.
Can't you put the powder from the bucket to
You
the
can't,
cup?" I'm
though.
like, "I can't."
Well, and on a different topic, same topic, different issue is look how small your water bottle is. you can't even get this in there. It's like you have to be fucking Ray Allen just to get one scoop into the bucket.
Serious accuracy.
When you opened that on the new tablecloth, I was getting nervous.
I already spilled water. There's already this tablecloth's
Ray Allen, by the way.
Why is he so good?
Well, somebody else took his throne, didn't they, for 3-pointers? He's one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time.
He might have the most made ever.
You didn't know I knew that, did you? You think I'm just a fat guy?
Here's one. We might have talked about this already. We might have talked about this. You might know that.
Ray Allen fucking nailed a 3 the other day to win the game.
He's money.
He's 400 years old.
They tracked him and the other guy's Richard Hamilton on how many steps they take in a game, and they run triple the amount of an average player. They're just running off screens. I don't know the number. I'm gonna make this shit up, but they said Richard Hamilton ran 10 miles in a game. Because he's just fucking running off screens all game.
Why do they get screens? So they're good defenders?
They're just, all they do is shoot. So they're just trying to get open all the time.
Offensively, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, they're actually both decent defenders.
So in order to create space, they gotta get open.
And so they're just running.
You see LeBron get rejected by that white boy?
Great, right?
Yeah.
These
playoffs have been amazing.
Finally, a win for a white guy. Ending in controversy, too. Everyone's like, that's a foul.
Yeah.
All the officials stepped in. They couldn't believe it either. But
it was great.
He legitimately blocked the ball.
Yeah, it was great. The slow motion's so good. He got up there. LeBron got up there, and so did the white boy.
After you block the ball, it really doesn't matter what happens, right?
They say in the rule book, hand is the ball anyways, even though they do call fouls on that, but it shouldn't be. I think it's all good. Yeah. I guess if I block the ball and I slap you in the fucking face, they might call foul. But if I fall through and hit you, who cares?
Yeah, it was kind of weird, too. They, clenched hands together.
they
embraced.
It would have been great if they actually clenched fingers.
Some Michael Sam draft flashbacks for a moment there.
Yeah, that was hot. I know there's a lot of controversy off it, but I don't know about you guys. I was beaten off during that.
Well, that is relationships biracial.
This is great.
That's the real issue here.
Well, yeah.
A biracial relationship.
Okay, in my lifetime was the first biracial kiss on TV in my lifetime.
Oh, that one was?
No.
No. I don't know.
No, male.
You're
female.
like Matt Vincent.
Male,
you watch a lot of fucking movies. I don't know what happens in these movies.
Star Trek.
Oh,
the original
biracial.
But that's a whole different thing. Alien human isn't biracial, is it?
No. It was a black woman and a white man.
Let's say ethnicity. I don't like the term race.
Okay.
Race.
You want a race?
I feel like race is like alien to human to fucking cyborg, whereas ethnicity is like fucking Latin to white boy to black man.
I don't know about any of that, Mike.
Yeah.
Read a fucking book, Matt Vincent.
Let's get back to the tablecloth for a minute because I have a story.
All right, I got to finish this Instagram post. Goodbye.
No, but wait, weren't we talking about
Fat
Michael
hands.
Sam?
Yeah, let's talk about the fucking biracial. He's going on Oprah Network.
You know,
he's not, but he got invited.
The issue is like whatever. Do what you got to do. I guess be who you want to be and act however way is comfortable.
Put your wiener where you want to put it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. How put your wiener where your mouth is? I don't know.
If you can do that, what gives a fuck about anybody else?
Give us a phone call.
Who's that creepy rock star? Marilyn Manson.
Oh. Hey,
didn't he take a rib out so he could lick his own weenie?
I hope so. That's a great story.
I've heard that.
Do the Googles. No, I'm not.
If not, I made that shit up.
But anyway.
I'd be afraid of the images.
But anyway. The truth is, people aren't ready for that shit, and so him, embracing the guy, him hugging the guy, that would have been one thing.
Yeah.
And if it was somebody that looked of similar stature to him, but he grabbed like a sissy-looking guy, not saying gay or anything, just he's like a sissy,
it was a small white
skinny,
boy. It was a
skinny
small white
fuck,
boy,
you know.
And Sam's huge. He's a monster.
He's a linebacker.
Yeah, he's a great athlete.
He's a professional, football player, linebacker.
Probably should have gone in the 5th round.
250, 260. I mean, he's a big dude.
He's a stud.
And he just grabs this guy, kind of manhandles him, and just sticks his tongue down his throat.
I have to admit, I was out of the country, so I didn't actually see this. I've seen pictures. I
just saw a replay. I didn't see it live either.
I don't know exactly what the issue is. But
I don't know. But I don't know. If you're extremely open, I think with the exception of you actually being gay, I don't think everybody's that.
I don't want to see straight people suck face. On TV like that
that's
either.
My point.
That's right.
I was arguing with
I don't
Ryan
think it's
Spencer.
any different, really.
Right.
I was arguing with our
open-minded is one thing, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that is a huge culture shock to probably 99.9%
Right.
of Americans.
Imagine the South. Like we're in
Right.
freaking Sacramento and Davis, California. Super liberal,
Yeah.
But my point is the same as Jim's, is that they didn't show Johnny Manziel French kissing somebody,
Right.
man or woman. That's
and,
my
and
only
you don't
point.
know if it happened, and if it did happen,
It was off
and they
screen
didn't
or off
show it,
camera.
and they showed the other one on purpose.
That's a little weird.
That's
I
weird.
agree.
That's
And
sensationalism.
it also seems like the Michael Sam thing was derived off of a documentary. So they had that guy probably perched
Placed,
there on
right.
purpose because they probably had 7
yeah,
cameras wound up.
because nothing is ever real.
But what's kind of interesting is they talk about
Right.
a lot of the times in the draft, if you're a highly publicized player or you know you're going to get drafted, you go to the draft. And Michael Sam was at home.
Right.
That's totally off topic, but he was at home, meaning he didn't know if he was going to get drafted probably. I bet you teams didn't lead him on very
He's just
much.
chilling, getting filmed by Oprah.
Yeah, he might go on a reality show, which is a whole nother subject. His team's super against that, I hear.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think they shot
it's
a
at
lot
least
of it
been
already.
postponed though.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's a dumb decision to go on that show as a 7th
Well,
round draft pick,
No,
trying
it's
to prove yourself in the
it's
NFL.
it's too early. If you want to start accumulating that footage now, and say he has a good 5, 7, 10-year career in the NFL,
Yeah, even-
and you want to use that stuff as part of a career documentary, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
even
but
still, like having a film crew around you where you're trying to prove yourself to make a team. Like even me doing that at a junior college basketball, I know that would have been a distraction, negatively
Could you
affecting my
imagine how
performance.
hard they came at him, like Oprah?
Oh, hard.
You know,
Oprah.
they're probably like, every gay show that we ever had did X numbers.
Who cares? Oprah
and
comes
here's
to your
the
house
money
and
you're
talks
gonna
to you?
get. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
just
you're like, all right, yeah.
I'm fucking sign
Of
up."
course, you want to get famous. Are you
know?
kidding me? In reality,
How old's the
Oprah
guy?
comes to me at 22. Oprah comes. I'm signing my
You're
life
da- you're
away.
gonna
of
do it
course.
anyway, of
Of
course. Right.
And I'm only 25 now.
this
but
is cooler
I'd probably-
cooler heads
Of
and
course.
people who are not in the moment.
less famous fucking people saying
Exactly.
If Oprah said, "Look, Mike, you got to marry me. It's part of the show."
In a second.
you got to forget about Sandy. You'd be like, "Who's Sandy?
it. No, Oprah.
Sandy.
Who is Sandy?"
Oprah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So I got a topic. You guys ready for this one?
well, he was about to talk about.
was about
oh,
to
what
talk
were we
tablecloth.
talking about? Oh, okay. Let's talk about the tablecloth. Much more.
Because it's a bad story.
Bed
and I
Bath
haven't
and
told
Beyond's
either
much
one
more
of you
important
yet.
We
than
have
my
a new
story.
fancy schmancy
Yeah, this
tablecloth
is
for
the-
those of you that can't
This is
see.
a slingshot
Those
logo.
of you that have the YouTubes can see the slingshot logo on the table.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Andy Bill
I think
had
one
it put
camera
together.
might have went out.
Already? Fuck me.
Son of a
sideways.
bitch.
Okay. Pause the story.
Pause story. Maybe you can go on to yours. Hurry up.
No, it's long.
Oh,
You're gonna have a rebuttal.
we have Derek Kendall on the show today. By
My
the way.
story kind of goes into that.
All
God
right.
damn, it's so good.
All right.
It's
Well,
so
we'll go this. Then we'll go into that.
But what if
and
the
then
script-
segue into
But what
Derek
if the
Kendall.
script says something else?
It's-
Nobody wrote the script today. It's blank.
Take a
up
picture
there.
of it.
All
Okay.
right, I'll post it
So-
after I tell this fucker how to deadlift.
So I thought we were going to not have a tablecloth because of what happened to the previous red tablecloth. I knew this one was eventually coming, but I thought we would not have one today. Earlier in the week, I thought that we would not have one for the next episode because when I got back from Europe, I found out that there was a chicken in the trunk of my car, and it was
Dead or alive?
dead, whole, raw chicken
From the store, not like a.
from the store, and it was on top of the tablecloth, and it stank, and the whole car still stinks. I may
Ooh.
have to run it off of a cliff. It's better. It's gotten
Maybe
better.
you put like a skunk or something else that smells
It's
bad,
like
but
that
not as
Seinfeld
bad.
episode. They can't get the stink out.
Exactly like
Taxi cab driver.
Yeah, the guy with the mutant BO.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's like the first thing that hits you when you know, it's not too bad now, but I'm going to have to do something about it, and I'm thinking about getting rid of the car.
See, it doesn't always pay to be a meathead. He's thinking about protein. He's thinking about salvaging some muscle mass. He buys some chicken from the store, and this is the fucking thing.
The worst.
No,
Yeah.
no, the story gets better. I was not home. No one knows where the chicken came from. Someone was driving my car. My third son, Will, who was staying with us between his deployment
He threw a rotted chicken in your car.
in Guantanamo to he's going back to the Middle East right now. Anyway, though, he doesn't have any memory at all of buying a chicken.
Now he's lying.
It
He's
was
fucking lying.
It was in a Target bag, and nobody knows. Like,
That sounds terrible.
yeah.
Maybe he was choking the chicken. Didn't want anybody to know.
I don't know. I have no idea. Mystery chicken dead in my trunk.
Well, anyway,
Maybe killed my whole car.
We got a new tablecloth.
Yes, we got a new tablecloth.
It's
and
great.
It's
We
awesome.
bought it at Bed Bath
Can
and
you get a
Beyond.
table dance? Whoa, that was a motorcycle.
That's fucking Vin Diesel, Fast and Furious. Who's coming
All
around?
right, go with your story,
All
and then
right.
we got to get Derek.
This is a good one. So it's not a story. It's like a rant. So in our day and age of powerlifting and strength sports in general, Olympic lifting, CrossFit, and so forth, There's a lot of people that complain about gear, squat suits, wraps, elbow
Steroids.
No. Knee wraps. That's not raw. This is raw. The wraps
I hate
did the
that.
lifting.
That's not raw.
Okay, right. So this is I knew
did
this
a whole
would,
video
This
on
would
that.
bunch your panties. This is gonna
That's
be
not raw.
So my greatest example is the evolution of powerlifting came about because people wanted to lift more weight, tighter briefs, thicker briefs, whatever. Right. Eventually, you just wanted to lift more weight.
Are you judging me?
Yeah. So the new thing is knee sleeves and not wraps, right? That's the rawest form you get. Everyone's wearing Ray-Bans, squatting deep, right? Well, now SPD makes it a knee sleeve,
Right.
and everybody buys it. Everybody. It's the
And
new
what
thing.
what are their comments about it?
Well, and why do people buy it? Because it feels like a light wrap and gives me more weight.
That's what people are saying. It feels like a knee wrap.
And that's why they buy it, because it allows them to lift more weight than the Ray-Ban, which was previously very popular. And they're both competing against each other. You're wearing Ray-Bans, I'm wearing SPDs. We both know that SPDs give
gets
me more
worse.
weight. Yeah.
It gets worse. There is a federation that is called 100% raw.
And you
and
wear
it doesn't
knee
even
sleeves.
follow its own fucking rules.
Right.
It's not 100% raw.
Well, what it's
100% raw would mean no belt, no wraps, no nothing.
no compression
That
shorts.
would be 100%
You have to
raw.
wear whitey-tighty cottons.
You just wear a singlet that shows off your nuts, and you lift like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Use a little chalk.
Anything raw to me is anything beyond a brief.
Right.
If you're wearing briefs, you're probably not raw. If you're wearing knee wraps, you're fucking raw. I don't care. It's all the fucking same. Like,
Right.
yes, it allows you to lift more, but so does a belt. So does caffeine. So does ammonia.
Right.
Is ammonia not raw? That would be the dumbest statement I've ever heard somebody say.
People need to just, admit to themselves that the lift is impressive.
Right.
Somebody posts a video of them squatting 540 for 3 in a pair of knee wraps, and they want to list that it's
talking
raw.
about me?
They want to list that it's raw. Then that's pretty fucking good lift. 540 for 3 reps is good.
Or Derek Kendall.
Derek Kendall, doing 1,037.
On
That's
stomping-
cool, but that ain't raw.
He's stomping new ground. No one squatted that,
Ever.
raw or not, and they say, well, he had knee wraps and not knee sleeves.
The only person to ever squat that
It felt like
that I've
a
ever
house.
heard of.
It felt heavy, so.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And it felt like a house. It felt like a house.
it felt heavy.
It's back.
Oh,
Shit.
But how dumb is that? I feel like the not raw people, whatever group that is of powerlifting, which is great because it's like a new generation. I feel it's a young generation, which is cool. They're getting into
Right.
strength sports, but they're like the motherfucking hipsters of strength sports, hating on everybody else. Like, oh, I got SPDs before you. I ride my fucking what are those bicycles with only one gear?
Oh, beach cruiser?
Cruisers?
No, fucking that all the hipsters ride.
Yeah. It's cruisers. I don't know.
No, you
They
guys
don't
are
really have a
worse.
ge-
You
well-
live in Davis. Everybody, you guys should know. What are they called? No, it's not beach cruiser. People do ride beach cruisers.
When
too.
I came out here from New York and saw a beach cruiser for the first time,
yeah,
I laughed my fucking ass
you
off.
thought
I
Pee Wee
never-
Herman was
I
riding
was
around.
like, I would have gotten my
Yeah.
fucking ass handed to me
Right.
every day
right?
of the week and twice on Sunday,
Yeah, by your brothers, huh?
just by everybody.
Because you're cheap and gay.
It's fucking. That would be gay. That would be considered gay if we're gonna
But
go
not,
over that.
Not Michael Sam gay.
No.
Just lame.
Yes, indeed.
We've already apologized to all you people. We don't mean gay as
But
gay.
I'm offended.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Anyway,
Are we ready for this?
let's talk to this little Derek.
Only
Kendall
if
guy.
he's raw.
Should we?
God
You should start
damn
off
it.
asking what he's wearing, and if he's wearing
If he's
anything more than knee sleeves, we need to hang
If his
the fuck
underwear
up.
is polyester, I'm ending this interview right now. I just heard that today. There's 2 federations that don't allow you to wear like actual boxers, that you have to wear cotton. Cotton's disgusting. That's the grossest underwear. They
They're like,
feel gross. They
I
look
want to
gross.
see you in tighty whities.
They do. Someone just told me that. 2 federations, not to be named.
I've seen worse. I've seen worse.
No.
Are they 2 federations? that used to be
Naked
the
is
same
better
federation?
than cotton panties. Quote me.
That's true.
See? Bada boom, bada bing.
Uh-oh, I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, Derek,
God
where
damn
are
it.
you? Oh, I hear it.
Oh, I hear it. Is his voice going to be all deep? It's like ringing through here.
Yeah, I'm not hearing it, though. Oh, I see what's wrong.
Jim has been away vacationing. So Jim kind of has his head in his ass, sort of.
Marilyn
was
Manson.
Where the fuck did he go? He went to Ireland, and then like to England and
I
shit.
think he was hunting down our leprechaun who's been missing.
He went all over the place. He told me about dudes in like hot red pants.
No, it was guys in their 50s, like older than me, wearing fucking red pants.
I think that's great. You know who started that trend? Little motherfucking Wayne.
I just can't wait till the next time we all go out together and Jim's wearing fucking red
Is
pants.
Lil Wayne 55?
Maybe with all those drugs.
Is this
it looks like
recording
80.
still? It sounds weird now. It's got very tinny. Ting, 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 ting. I don't know. Anyway, all I know is that the next time we all go out together, we're going to see Jim McD in a pair of hot red pants. It's going to be fantastic.
I don't know what's going on.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Are people still listening, you think? Why do people listen to this
We
show?
lost all our listeners.
I can still hear a couple of them. I just heard somebody fart on their couch.
Am I in that one?
So anyway, let's talk about Derek Kendall here.
Okay.
He's hit a 1,037
Let's go
squat.
back like 3 years ago when
in
he's
training.
jacked and tan.
And he used to bodybuild.
But no, he said you posted a picture. I think you stole it from his wife. That was rude of you.
I don't know what's
But
going on.
he says he's like, oh, just sitting at 275 pounds with a fucking 8-pack,
Yeah, he's totally ripped.
jacked out of his mind, and he's not short. He's probably about your height, so
He's
5'8".
probably about 6'2" or so, or 6'1".
Yeah, I'd say 6 foot, 6'1". What's Burdick? Burdick's a good measure point. 6'2",
1.5,
6'3".
I think.
I think
6'2".
he's probably Burdick's height.
I was about to say an inch below Burdick, maybe half an inch
Yeah.
below Burdick. So he's tall, and he was 275 and shredded.
And right now he's like 340 or 335 or something.
And I didn't know who he was. He was in our booth at the Arnold, and he was talking to Jesse or something in the corner, and I'm behind the bench, and all I saw was just traps. I saw a triangle of traps. It looked like the super training symbol literally was his back.
A triangle of traps.
Yeah, and I was just like, who is this? And then I turned around and I recognized him. I was like, oh, my God. He took up half the booth. He should have paid us for rent space. He took up half the
He
booth.
was enormous. What did he front squat that one video?
I don't know, 800?
Yeah.
Didn't
I
he
mean,
just say, like, I don't know if he was talking to you. He's like, oh, yeah,
Smoked it.
I just wanted to do it because I hadn't seen somebody do it or something.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's like, I just wanted to squat 800 because I had heard one person did it or something. I was like, what? You're nuts.
Well, how many people in 1 year do a raw squat with 800 pounds? He did a front squat with it. Think about that.
Right.
I mean, is there 20 people every year that squat that much? Maybe. That's
800 on their back.
yeah. That's probably like, probably close.
Probably less. I'd say less than 20 people
But
squat
anyway,
800
he's got
pounds.
2 gym lifts that I've never heard of before: an 800-pound front squat and a 1,037 back squat.
Well, let alone all the silly accessories that you can't judge form in a competition, but he's rowing at 585 pounds or something.
Yeah.
495 bent over rows, barbell
and then
rows.
the
550 shoulder press or something ridiculous.
the 500-pound seated press.
We were
and
talking- Hello?
and also a 600-pound bench the other day.
Yeah, just smokes it. Which he's done in comp. But we
Yeah.
talked about random guys like today with Big Bill in our gym who incline press 400, which is really good. But just to unrack that amount of weight and not a power lift probably feels like shit. Imagine
Yeah.
unracking 500 pounds above your head. I literally, my forearms would break at my size. But
Oh, yeah. And, Bill did it with no spot, and he just unracked it himself, which is hard to do.
yeah. Some of these guys are just mutants, man. And DK's one of them. How good is that Mentos gum?
It's just run its course, that's all.
I know, but it's delicious. Mentos, a fresh maker.
Hello.
What's up, Derek Kendall? Welcome to the PowerCast.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
How you doing, my man? You getting ready for this meet or what?
Yeah, we had our last, we deloaded on deadlift yesterday, so, but yeah, all our lifts are done, so we got pretty much 2 weeks to rest now, and hopefully, do some good things at the meet.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
Well, Eric, but he's kind of been injured. He's still kind of 50-50 doing the meet.
That
And,
means he's in.
obviously-
That means he's in 100%.
Yeah, he's probably 100%. I think he's just sandbagging, and he'll probably come back and kick my ass. But
Right.
and then obviously Ernie Jr. and Ernie Senior. So
So, how long have you been powerlifting for? Seems like you kind of just got into it
I actually
sort of recently.
started powerlifting about 18 months ago. It was funny. I'm a school teacher, and this nurse came in, and he was like following me for a week, and he worked out at Quads, and he told me to come in one day after school, and I started working out with him, and then shortly after that, I met Ed, and I did my first meet last March. So it's been about 14 months, I guess, since my first meet. So
that's really
kinda how I
interesting.
got started
So
with it all.
your introduction into powerlifting is going into Quad's gym and training with the greatest powerlifter of all time, Ed Cohn.
Yeah, like when I first met him, to be honest, I didn't even really know who he was. I mean,
That's awesome.
I heard of the name before, but I really didn't start following powerlifting. And then obviously I kind of, when you go in there, he's all over the place. So I kind of looked him up, and then I kind of realized, how strong he was.
You're like, that little tiny guy has got some pretty good strength.
Dude, he's still strong, man. Last Monday, he went over 700 pounds squat, no reps, and just a belt. So I mean, he's still a freak, man. Strong,
yeah, that's amazing. That guy's just made out of something different than the rest of us, I think.
Hey, he is, man. He's great. I mean, he's deadlift. I mean, everything. He's just a fucking badass, man.
So I went out to the Raw Unity meet, and I saw the Russian Andrei Milanichev hammer out 1,014 squat. You were hyped up that day as well, and I believe you went for 1,003 or 1,008, something like that, right?
Yeah. That was what, in February. Yeah, I won 1,003. We both. I mean, at the time, Robert Wilkerson had the record with 1,000. So, and actually, I was ahead of Milanichev.
Right.
I took 942. He took 970. So we were kind of both waiting at the table, and I wanted to see what he was going to take, and he took 1,014. I'm like, oh shit, I can't do that. So I tried 1,003, and I got a little forward. I kind of got bumped by the judge a little bit.
Right.
That threw me off.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and I tried fighting it, man, and I just couldn't get it. So, it sucked because I got done with the lift, and I missed it, so I felt like a jackass. And then, you hear Welcome to the Jungle, and Milanichev goes, everyone goes crazy. He, smokes 1,014. I'm in the back ready to go hang myself. But,
yeah, I remember.
It was a good experience. It was very, very humbling, and it just kind of motivated me, since then. So. Yeah,
I remember you were pissed and you were extremely disappointed. I remember that, but now it's sort of.
But part of the problem. I mean, leading up to that meet, the highest I ever went in the gym was 975. So I mean, it was something I'd never done before.
It was a little bit of a reach, probably at that point.
Yeah. But like I said, it was good to go against. I mean, I'll probably never see him in a meet again.
Right.
Just to beat the same meet with him and Dylan Green and Matt Wedding. I mean, there were tons of great lifters there, so it was a good experience. And even though I missed a lift, I still learned a lot. So.
Yeah, but now it sort of paints the picture of Ivan Drago versus Rocky, and you got to make the comeback story of the century here, and you come out here June 1st as super training and knock off that 1,014 squat.
Yeah, I watched Rocky 4. I brought that with me to Rome. I probably watched that about 10 times. And Ed Cohn's like, you watch Rocky 4 too much. I'm like, well, no, I mean, yeah, I'm hoping to take the record at your meets. It's going to be my second attempt. So, obviously the first attempt goes well, and I'm just going to jump to it and try taking it.
I think
hit 1,037.
Yeah.
About 10 days ago now, or 8 days ago. So, it's a gym lift, so it doesn't count for anything, but I think I'll be able to do it in 2 weeks. So,
I think if you squat 1,037, we'll get you an entire pizza for yourself. Yeah. See, maybe extra.
Better, man.
Yeah, maybe extra cheese. You never know.
That'd be awesome, man.
So, in preparing for these competitions with the Lilliebridges, what has that experience been like? Because, here at Super Training, we always talk about how it's important to get around like-minded people. It's important to get around people that want to get better, people that want to be the best. So talk a little bit about the type of training you guys are doing and the experience. I mean, it must be nerve-wracking in a lot of ways training with those guys.
Yeah, it's different. When I was training at Quads, I was kind of training. Everyone was doing different meets. The nice thing with the Lilliebridge is we train usually, for the most part, all our meets together. So I was able to set my training up, pretty close to Eric. I think when the first time I ever trained with them, this was, last September. It was our first WOD session. I still remember. I did 800 for 3. Eric did 805 for 3. And he beat me by 5 pounds. And then that was the first time someone ever beat me in a gym in a squat. And it kind of made me realize, okay, so I got to kind of, pick this up a little bit. And ever since then, every lift with bench, squat, or deadlift, it's a purpose. And before I was so caught up in doing accessories and just keep doing all that work. Where with these guys, everything is about that top set. And once you get to that top set, that's the only thing that matters. So it went from actually probably increasing like my mental focus throughout the week and kind of not doing as much accessory work. That's kind of, really switched, going from, doing 800 for a 3 to, now doing over 1,000. So it's just, they're very mentally focused. The whole week you're thinking about that one lift and that one top set. And before I was more concerned about, okay, well, what am I doing after squats and what am I going to do tomorrow, rather than just focusing on that one lift. So
You mentioned
it's a great environment to be in, but just mentally focusing on that top set was probably the biggest difference.
You mentioned that 800-pound squat being the first time someone out-squatted you in a gym. What's kind of your background? Like, were you just always kind of the strong kid? Did you play football? Tell us a little bit about yourself growing up in sports.
Yeah, I mean, I played typical kid. I played, football in high school. Played Division III, Wisconsin Whitewater. I was always a guy who just liked doing reps. And then when I got done with football and, graduated, started teaching, I just went to the gym, and it was like a bodybuilding routine, but, very high intensity and a shitload of reps. And I'd just go to the gym and do stupid shit. And I really wasn't doing anything. And then 2011, I decided to do my first powerlifting, or my first bodybuilding show. So I prepared for that. It was like the Illinois State, like Mr. Illinois. I was a super heavyweight, won my class and won the overall. So that kind of gave me a little direction which I was going into, but I still like to train heavy and crazy, and I didn't have a really pretty physique. So that's, for the next year or so, I kind of went back and forth. I'd do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then once I got full into powerlifting, I just, fell in love with it. So I can kind of, use, the reps in the beginning of powerlifting kind of really wasn't the right thing I was doing, but definitely an intensity. I mean, when I lift, I try to be as intense as I can. So, that carried over well from, bodybuilding to powerlifting.
We've seen before with this background of other types of lifting, bodybuilding type things, or really high volume, or basically, just for lack of a better term, people who aren't necessarily thinking about powerlifting, that come into powerlifting and start dominating it very quickly. Someone like Stan Efferding has always been a fan of lifting big weights and lifting heavy, but he was a bodybuilder, and he came into the sport and he dominated and ended up breaking the 275 world record. We also saw the same thing, or a similar thing, from a guy like Eric Spoto, who came into the sport with a huge base, already pressing, well over 600 pounds for repetitions and stuff, and then later breaking the all-time bench record. And you're kind of seeing that more often, guys coming from other sports or coming from other backgrounds where they have this huge base. Could you talk a little bit about how that, the type of training that you did before, intelligently or otherwise, how that helped you to get to where you are now so rapidly in 18 months?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's like, a lot of the guys that we work out with or come to the gym, they're younger, they're 18, 19, 20 years old, and they're doing a lot of singles and just heavy stuff. And like, you don't necessarily, a bigger muscle is not necessarily a stronger muscle, but to be at a certain level, you do have to carry a certain amount of muscle. And I always think it's easier to get the muscle first and then train the strength secondly. So for me, I had the muscle. I just had to learn, okay, do heavy singles and, and learn the technique. I mean, technique takes you to a certain point, but also you're also limited by your strength. And when you can combine the both of them, that's when you see an elite lifter. I mean, look at Dan Green. Dan Green's built like a freak. Eric's built like a freak. And they also have, great technique. Now, you can take some guy who's really strong, but the technique, he'll take it to a certain point, and then he's going to hit a wall. Or vice versa. Someone has a really good technician, they just don't have the upper back strength or the hamstring strength or whatever, to complete the lift. So I think you need a combination of them both. And, me growing up, it was more reps, and now it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to, do this for a heavy single or heavy triple. And it changed my body. And, when I look at myself now, I don't look as big. I know I'm stronger, but I don't look the same. So one of the biggest hurdles for me was kind of getting over, well, your legs aren't as big, you're squatting more now. So once I kind of got past that, that point, I was able to kind of move on. So, I mean, it's not necessarily being the biggest or looking the biggest, but it's, having that muscle and training heavy at the same time. I think that's the key.
What do you feel is kind of the best way to refine your technique? Do you think, going into the sport with the big base that you had made the technique, if Ernie Sr., if he told you a certain thing, I'd imagine you're probably able to adapt to it fairly quickly because of your strength base, whereas and the amount of muscle mass that you have. Whereas some of the newer kids that you're talking about, when Ernie tries to go over something with them, it's probably a much longer conversation. It probably takes him a lot longer to illustrate and to show them what he's talking about. Is that kind of correct?
Yeah, I mean, what like for me, for example, like I never with deadlifting, like I never deadlifted before I started powerlifting, and I'm not obviously built for deadlifts. I'm just not good at them. But someone like Ernie Jr., who's a great deadlifter, he's been doing it for such a long time. His technique, it's so good. So it for me, it's like I just need more practice doing the deadlift because I've only been really deadlifting for 2 years or so. Powerlifting deadlift. Kind of the same thing with some people with benching. Benching heavy singles, I'm not very good at either. I'd rather do reps, and you see a lot of guys doing reps. Well, it's a lot different, setting up to do a heavy single, staying tight, or pausing it, or doing this and doing that. So, starting powerlifting at 27 compared to someone who's 16 or 17, it's completely different for me compared to a 17-year-old kid who's just starting, doesn't have the muscle mass, but they're learning the correct technique. I'm just starting to learn the correct technique now, and still with my squat. I mean, when I squat, I'm every day I'm still, refining where do I put my feet, where do I put my belt, where's the bar at, all those different things. So I think you just need repetition, and the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it.
When you said, you're working on practicing the deadlift, what sort of weights are you using when you're just, mainly after the practice of it?
Well, I mean, the way we set things up, it's, Eric always told me when he deadlifted, until he deadlifted 800, all he did was singles. So, I pretty much kind of just use singles just because, I'm trying to get my strength up. I might go, on my days I squat, I might do some deficits, for 5, 8, 10 reps or something like that, or stiff legs. But when it's a deadlift day for me, it's pretty much singles. And that's the way, Ernie Sr. always told me to do it. Once you get to a certain level, then you could start doing, triples and max rep sets. But for me, just learning, doing my 135 set and my 585 set, my 725 set, doing it the same way, the same repetition every time, is the best way for me to kind of, make my deadlift. I mean, I'd love to deadlift 800. That'd be a goal of mine. Out of 3 lifts, it's the lift that's kind of flatlined the most. But I'm just going to keep working at it and see what happens with it.
How you're mentioning training the deadlift is quite a contrast to who you started off with, Ed Cohn. Ed Cohn is a big proponent of repetitions, sets of 6, sets of 5, sets of 4, which can be extremely taxing, and I see his side of it. But is that difficult? When you, I'm sure you probably still run into Ed here and there, or get texts from him. Is that somewhat difficult?
Yeah,
you got Ernie
it's funny.
Senior as your
We have a
coach.
good relationship.
Yeah.
I tell him I did something stupid, in the gym, or before the meet, or doing a down set until I pass out or something like that. And his way, that linear periodization, that works well for some people. I did it for a long time, but the way we train, it's kind of just doing that one top heavy set. I mean, Ed used to do 2 sets of 5, with his work set, and then do 2 sets of 5 with this, and then and this and that. Where we're just really just focusing on that one balls out set. And he, I don't know how he did it. He went every week, And when I was doing that, I just couldn't recover, and I was making 5-pound jumps every week. Where now I can literally make 50-pound jumps in 2 weeks. So the recovery, for me was like the biggest difference. Coming to the gym, only squatting twice a week, was the best thing for me. I remember, you got a Stan Efferding was in your magazine, and he put it his workout that he would squat and then do a set of T-bar rows, and he would go home. I remember I called Ed up. I'm like, "Is that really what he does?" And he said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Shit, maybe I should start doing that." And that's literally when I started changing that. And that's when my numbers just really went up.
Yeah, Stan, he would get here and start working out, and he'd get through like two movements, and he was like, "Oh, Biggs, I gotta go home. I gotta eat." He'd always say he has to go eat because he knew he had to grow, and he already had the base. As we talked about earlier, he already had that base. There's really no reason for him to spend several hours in the gym, and even to a younger athlete, it might be wise to take a little rest, eat a little bit of food, chill for a couple minutes, and then maybe polish off some of the assistant stuff if you needed, if you needed to kind of to do it that way. But there's certainly a lot of different ways to go about doing things. With your bodybuilding career, did you or not bodybuilding career rather, but when you were bodybuilding, did you ever compete in bodybuilding? Because you looked like you were in pretty damn good shape.
Yeah, I did that one show in 2011. And then I was going to actually the same year do Junior Nationals, which is in Chicago, which is like a month or 2 later. But, I just kind of realized I just don't have, some people have certain genetics. I was a big guy, but I just didn't have the genetics to compete at a national level. And so I just kind of decided, well, okay, I did this one show. I can kind of check this off my list. And then I still bodybuild, after my show, but for about a year I was kind of just in flux before I started powerlifting. But I just did that one show. I mean, I dieted, I liked it, but it's a whole lifestyle, and I just didn't like it.
Speaking of the lifestyle, how did your diet change kind of from powerlifting or bodybuilding going into powerlifting? Did you just add more food or pay less attention to it?
It's weird. It's if I looked at myself 2-3 years ago and the way I ate, it was very, bodybuilding, clean meals. Now, to be honest, with powerlifting, sometimes we're at the gym and we're there for 6-7 hours on a Saturday. You're missing meals, and you're not having the best foods, and it's different. I think people underestimate nutrition in bodybuilding, but they overestimate it in powerlifting. I don't think in powerlifting it's not as important. I talk to Eric all the time, and he eats like a kid. He's having pizza and toaster strudels and whatever he eats, and he still lifts and he still looks like a freak. Where in bodybuilding, you really have to be on point with your diet.
Right.
I still think you need to get the right amount of foods in, but to be honest, it's not, unless you're trying to cut weight or make a weight class, dieting is not that important.
I think Ernie Senior just basically said he just tries to tell guys just to make sure they're eating enough protein and really just
Yeah, pretty
kind of
much. Yeah,
sort of
you
eat
get your
whatever
protein in,
you-
your carbs. I mean, you
Right.
have some fat. Who cares? I mean, you're at the gym 5-6 hours. You're gonna burn it off. You know.
Right, and I think that's been proven time and time again by some of the stronger athletes. You know, maybe they don't necessarily look great, but they can certainly move weight. You got like guys like Zydrunas Savickas, who's arguably one of the strongest men to ever walk the face of the earth, and in strongman, you got guys like Donnie Thompson who've moved big weights before too. A lot of the guys just, and even Dan Green, who's in great shape, just kind of eats whatever he wants.
Yeah. And I always follow his stuff, and he's eating like Oreos and stuff. And I mean,
Right.
I met Dan when I was in Florida. I mean, that guy he's shredded, and you wouldn't think he would eat like that. I mean, probably has a great metabolism, but like I said, it's the way you train. Some people can just handle more fat and more food.
Is it difficult for you to follow the Lilliebridge method? I mean, it sounds like you're coming from old school style of training where it was just like, man, I just got to train myself into the ground. I got to get a pump, and I got to be really sore from my training. And now, from what I understand from the Lilliebridge method, it's basically you're just going heavy every other week on a squat, a bench, or a deadlift. Talk about that a little bit. What was that change like?
Yeah, it's more of an ego kind of check. And even when I first started training with him, I'd do my top set of bench, for double, single, triple pause, or whatever. And then I would do, how many times can I do 4 or 5? And then the more I started looking at it, it's like, what is that really gaining? I mean, yeah, you're getting a little rep work, but, you're overdoing it. So even like this past Thursday, I did my last bench workout for your meet. I did my top set, a little bit of accessories, and I went home. You kind of learn when to do that stupid stuff. Like when we're squatting, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I want to go down to 700 and see how many times I can do it. Well, if the off season is okay, if you're getting ready for a meet, what's the lift, ratio? Is that going to make you stronger? Can you get hurt? So I think the way they train when they're in meet prep, which is usually it's 8 weeks, so it's only like 4 deadlifts, 4 squats. It's just everything on that top set, and the accessories that you do in the off season will carry over more than during the in season or your contest prep.
Yeah, that
So
makes a lot of
I think
sense.
just balancing that out.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If you're doing bent over rows and lat pull downs and other movements like that, it makes sense that it's not the strength from those movements is not all of a sudden out of nowhere just going to disappear.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'll still if I'm doing back, I'll still do stupid stuff if I'm feeling good or feeling like it. But you just got to be smart. Like, man, I just deadlifted 36 hours ago. Should I try to do a heavy 5 rep max on bent over rows, or should I maybe not? So you just got to listen to your body and know when to push it and know when to take it off, because I mean, you get one injury, and it was like when I tore my lat getting ready for my for run, or you hurt your pec or something like that. And once you're injured, then all the training goes out the window. So I mean, the biggest thing is just literally getting to that platform and not being injured.
There's a good time to do circus lifts, and there's bad times to do circus lifts, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
You said you were a teacher. Like, what grade, and what do these kids think when you walk into the room and you look like the Hulk? What are these kids thinking?
It's a K through 8 school. I teach PE and health. To be honest, they don't really care. They're more into LeBron James and rap music and all that crap. So, no, I mean they're good kids, and I teach health for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. So I watch your brother's movies with them and throw that in once a quarter. I mean,
Awkward. That's pretty cool.
They love that movie.
So wait a second. 6th, 7th, and 8th grade health?
Yeah,
that
I
you said?
teach 6th, 7th, 8th grade health. So
wait a second.
We'll put that movie in for a week.
But you're also
Week
teaching
off.
like sex education, aren't you? Or they get rid of that in school?
No, I do sex education. We do it.
You dirty son of a bitch.
Yeah, do that twice a year.
Yeah.
It's gender though, so I just do the boys. When I
Right.
first started teaching, I had to do the girls and boys, but now it's just the boys. So
Now, is it required there? Because in California, it's not required. And my wife is a nurse, and actually, she goes back to the school that my younger son went to, and every year does 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. One class of each, boys then girls. So it's an interesting process, but they're just unless she goes in and does it, or if the teacher decides they need it, it doesn't happen. So is it mandatory?
Yeah,
there?
no, yeah, it's actually it's required in our state. And obviously me being a health teacher, there's actually me and another person as a health teacher, so we have to do it together. So, I mean, whatever, it's already pretty much planned out. We just kind of follow that. It's like a 2-week spiel. We go through it, and that's that. So it's actually not too bad.
Maybe you can give a little course to the Lilliebridge family.
Yeah.
Boom.
Come in.
That was a shot below the belt. All right.
Guest speakers on that.
They're gonna punch me when they see me, but whatever.
Well, probably will.
That's really cool, though. You need good teachers, and I have 2 kids in school now, and it's just really important that they have, teachers that care and all that. And so, how did you get into all that?
I mean, when I was in college, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be, and I'm like, well, teacher's cool. You get to work with kids, you get the summers off, you get to coach, or
right.
It was just a job that kind of appealed to me. So, I graduated in 2007, and like I said, I've been teaching for my 7th year teaching. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got a job right out of school, and I've been at 2 different schools, but I like it, and I enjoy it, and like I said, the summers are off.
Do the kids ever ask you why you're sweating when it's 45 degrees outside?
Yeah,
Mr. Kendall, your back is totally drenched. Are you okay? Why is your face red? Do you need a glass of water?
It's nice because I get to wear. I don't have to really wear, dress clothes. I can just wear my gym clothes to work, which is nice. So that's a perk of the job.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, wear some slingshot shirts for school.
There you go.
There you go.
So, what's kind of the goal in terms of, or what are some of the opening attempts that you're gonna go for here at this meet?
Yeah, at your meet, I think I'm opening up squat on like a 949, and then like I said, try to jump to 2019 on my second attempt if it's there. I hope it's there. Bench, kind of like I did at Rum. I mean, I benched 600 at Rum, which is something I've always wanted to do, is be able to bench 600. And like I said, I just benched it a couple days ago, so I'm hoping maybe take a 611, maybe 617 if it's there on my last attempt, and then deadlift. Dude, deadlift's it's a crapshoot sometimes, man. I don't know how taxed I'll be after the squats, but I like to be able to deadlift.
I have some. I got some old deadlift suits and stuff, and we can just slap you in one of those, and we can just say it was a singlet,
all the help I can get, man.
And I can get you some clear slingshot wrist straps, and you can use some straps for the deadlift too. And nobody needs to know anything. You pull 875. Yeah,
I got to beat 2353. So if I could beat that, I'd be happy.
That's a tall order, man. That guy's a freaking beast.
Yeah, he is the. I probably compare him and Dan Green just in terms of genetics. Like they're freaks, man. I mean, you look at them, their muscle is just different than most other people. And he's just. I mean, I saw his 900-pound deadlift. I was at the gym that night, and
that was absolutely
like that
insane.
That was just sickening.
And that sort of came out of nowhere. I mean, not like his deadlift was ever weak, but I think that was like a 30-pound PR or something, which is kind of unheard of at that strength level,
It was like his birthday next day. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to do 900 today." I'm like, "Holy shit!" So we went in, and he did it like nothing, and just threw it down. And we're like, I'm like
game over.
700 pounds. He just fucking does 900. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, what I admire about their lifting and just watching all of you guys, watching all the videos of you guys, not only do I admire the fact that you're wearing really tight singlets with my logo on it, but I love the fact that it seems like you guys are very professional. Like, it seems like you guys are paying attention to every rep and every set that's done, and that's unique. You don't always see that. I know a lot of guys are trying their hardest out there, but you guys really seem to be focusing in and honing in on, not just lifting the weight, not just lifting the heaviest weight, but having the best execution as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, Saturdays, they do take a long time. We get there, the Lilliebridges, if you don't know, they have their own time. They kind of show up late sometimes. So sometimes they'll literally say 1 and they'll come at 2:30, and then we just sit there for an hour and a half. But
I think Ernie Senior claims that Eric's kind of in his own world.
No, Eric's in the bathroom shaving and tanning and doing whatever he needs to do. No, it's like all warm ups, and it's very methodical. Kind of, I've watched a lot of Lanachev videos. The same thing. You look in the back room at the clock, and it might take him 3 hours just to do his squat workout. We kind of do the same thing. I mean, sometimes there's 5 of us, sometimes there's 8 of us, so that kind of there's more people. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but it's very slow and methodical. Nothing's rushed. We got people wrapping each other's knees and chalk and all that stuff. So it's a good environment to be in. Do
you guys get a chance to hang out much outside the gym, or you just see each other way too much, and that's not possible?
Yeah, that's all I can really handle with them. We've been to a couple meets, but yeah, I mean, they have their own schedule, man. Eric's sleeps all day and he's up all night, and I'm kind of the opposite. Senior's working, and they bench on Thursday nights, and I try to go out there, but dude, sometimes they don't start till like 10:30, 11 at night.
Holy shit! Really?
Wow.
Day. Yeah.
Man,
Eric will leave the gym about 3, 4 in the morning. So yeah. Sometimes I can't do that got school instead.
They could train with Creed in Vegas and not have to shift their time around then too, because he's same deal there.
Yeah, Spoto, yeah.
Yeah, they just train weird times. I'd rather train early in the morning, but obviously with work and stuff, it's different. So.
Well, shit, man. It was great having you on the show. I don't know if any of these guys have any other questions for you.
No, we'll ask him in person in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing you and the Lilliebridge clan out here at the meet June 1st at Super Training.
And everybody can watch on live stream on supertraining.tv.
Hell yeah. And good luck to you, and just keep resting up and keep eating and get ready.
Okay, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, Derek. Thank you very much. Catch you later.
Thanks, Derek.
All right, talk to you, man. Bye.
It's so amazing. You always find the best guys are like the most simple.
Yeah, I was about to say, he makes everything so simple, right?
Like, what do you do for your squat? I squat.
Yeah. Well, and he said he had a background in doing reps. That's what he liked to do from football days. And then he got into bodybuilding, where he probably did reps. He worked out with Ed Cohn, did hella reps. And then now he's with the Lilliebridges, and he just does one all-out set. Just so simple, right? He's been squatting for, who knows, 10 years. I just made that up. But maybe he's been squatting for 10 years. 8 of them, 7 of them were just bodybuilding, getting a nice base. And then now he's with the Lilliebridges, and he just high intensity hits heavy weights like a powerlifter. Of course, you're going to be successful.
He also just seems like a guy who just loves to challenge himself. He loves to just smash on himself and lift as much as he can. So
competitive,
right?
Yeah, he'll try that in a bunch of different lifts, as we mentioned earlier. He did an 800-pound front squat, he did 1,037 back squat, he did 500-pound seated overhead press, seated military, whatever you want to call it. He's doing all kinds of crazy shit. The 585 bent over rows.
Yeah, and those are all probably secondary. Who knows? But maybe that row was after benching or after deadlifting.
I think some of these guys, someone like him, I just don't think that they think anything's secondary. They think everything's first dairy.
They go at it.
Yeah, everything's everything's to be done as heavy as possible and as hard as possible.
Yeah, well, why not?
And that's why it's so important, though, for someone like him to run into a coach like Ernie Senior, someone who can say, "Hey, man, that's cool." But let's just pick like 2 things to focus on and then go the fuck home.
Right.
Because eventually that's just too taxing on your elbows, your knees, and your shoulders. And
right.
It's just going to catch up to you at some point. There's no way you can keep that pace.
And I think it's at the poundages he is.
Right.
I think a lot of beginners can take from that. Beginners who bench 225 need to hit bench hard, but they can only bench so much if you're benching 225. You need to go hammer dumbbells, hammer tricep extensions, hammer upper back, blah, blah, blah. And keep it simple like him. Well,
just think about it this way. If you're doing sets of 3 and you're going to do something like a bench press and your top set of 3 is 225, how many sets of 3 are actually going to be able to do?
And how many are hard, like 2?
With that given weight. So maybe you do 3 sets of 3, or sometimes people do 5s to 3. okay, that'll take X amount of time, but you better spend a lot of time doing some back work and doing some triceps
and
doing
it's
some biceps.
it's X amount of weight, right? 225 times 3 times 5.
Right.
Imagine doing for him 575, 5 sets of 3. There's just no way. The
Right.
poundage is too great. The ratio
Right.
isn't just a breakdown percentage.
And also, if he only did 1 set of 3, his volume is so much greater
Getting up there.
than the guy who did 225 or 315 for a
Fuck,
couple
man.
reps.
He rubbed off on us. We sound like teachers right now. We're way too educational.
Yeah, hey
that,
now.
that was a lot.
We
well-
forgot to ask him about a poop story, but oh well.
I don't know. He's too big. I don't really
Call
want to hear
back.
about his poops.
I don't have a poop story from the trip really, but I have a fart question. Okay, so I have a fart question about farts, about terminology.
Sometimes a fart sounds like it's asking a question.
Exactly. So we were coming up from the London Underground, and we were on the steepest escalator I've ever been on in my life.
Oh, those are terrifying.
I thought I was at.
Is it like a step mill at 24-hour fitness?
No, it was so much. Hello, what happened? Something happened. It was so much worse than that. It was so scary, and the first time in particular. But the thing that dawned on me while I was on this thing is like, if you fart on an escalator, is it still crop dusting, or is it
Or like
something else?
What about escalators? Fine, but like the person behind you will get the bad of it. What about the people movers at airports in America? Oh, you'd fuck up a whole terminal in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, you go back and
Just-
forth. Yeah,
That's bad. You've done that, I'm
Well-
sure. You're a sick fuck.
So the dynamics of being on an escalator is the person behind you, okay, they're gonna catch.
It's stuck in your cotton panties.
But
They're
no,
gonna get it.
But does it? I think it streams.
Maybe
man.
how
I think
how
it's
well,
how
it's not gonna travel like downward. I don't think.
That's what I was about to say. How
but it's gonna, if it stays in the same place,
heat rises.
It's the floor that's moving.
heat
right?
rises,
Yeah.
right, and your farts aren't cold. That's
I
some
don't know.
science shit for you.
Well,
you have
well,
cold farts?
Well, it gets much deeper.
You're a
than
cold
that.
farted killer.
Well, it gets much deeper than that because there's actually weight involved with smells.
Well, especially farts. That's
So
disgusting
does
to
a fart
think about.
weigh? Does a fart weigh more than oxygen? It probably
has
does.
to.
So maybe it does travel downward.
I don't
slightly.
know,
But the heat would make it raise.
But anyway, what I was
Okay.
going to say is so the person right behind you, especially on really steep
How steep
escalator,
is like the butt right at someone's face?
So the third person down, not the person right behind you, the person behind them, they're right at ass level.
It's probably your kids, right? In your
And so
case.
if like people are kind of standing off to the side, looking off to the side, like there might be somebody like more like kind of in the middle who's got like their nose in your ass cheeks.
Well, like mid back, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's about what it was.
I never
Yeah, so
walked.
the person on the next step down is right at ass level.
Oh yeah,
He's like,
actually, the first time that we were on, we were going down, and there was a woman trying to get on. We were coming. You go from the airport right into the underground, and she's got this gigantic roller suitcase and another suitcase, and she gets up to the top of it, and she's like, "I can't do it. Can you help me?" But she was like Russian or something. And I'm
Right.
like, all right. So I plop it onto the escalator, and I'm standing on this
And you
side
fart.
because her other bag is over here, and I can't get to it. I can't get to the other side, and there are these signs everywhere that say "Stand to the right, walk to the left." Right?
For the fat fucks.
But yeah, whatever. So there's this guy on the other escalator coming up, like yelling at me to move, and like I can't go anywhere. And then we get to the top, and this woman's
He was probably
suitcase-
yelling at you in
like-
Irish. You probably couldn't even understand him.
Oh, it
Just
was-
screaming Irish.
Well, it was British English. Anyway, I nearly like fell at the top because her thing
Bag,
stopped moving. I had my bag. I wasn't lifting her bag, and it just stopped, and I almost like
I hope
ass
you-
over a tea kettle
have you-
on the thing.
Yeah, I hope you poured hot tea on her and crumpets right in her face.
I felt bad for her, but I felt bad for me too.
Yeah. Screw her.
every time I pee, I fart, but the opposite isn't true.
Is that a poem?
It was more like a haiku of some sort.
So every time you pee, you fart. But when you fart, you want to pee. Sometimes you gotta lock
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah.
You need to put the clamps on. Do you think that's works with lower abdomen training? I read that, I swear, like when I was first getting into lifting, so weird. They talked about like stopping your pee stream to work like a certain ab you don't have and stuff. Sounds so unhealthy looking back on it. But that's like the articles
Like
that are going on the
Kegels?
website. Yeah, like
You're
male
doing
Kegels. Dude,
No, I've heard of ladies.
the internet's terrible.
Well,
All ladies, yeah.
You've heard of women peeing,
All
you
of
know,
them.
like in certain exercise they
Deadlifts.
do.
I-
I've heard of women
Deadlifts,
orgasming in certain movements.
That's amazing. I've heard that too. Like,
one,
leg lifts.
one woman I used to train, she's like, I can't do that movement.
You're like, why? Because
I'm like, it's just called doggy style. I don't see what the big deal is. So I come every time we do it.
no, but deadlifts kind of make sense. We talk about wearing a belt in deadlift feeling weird. And like for a chick, the weird feeling is probably like pushing on your bladder and
They got a
sphincters.
bunch of weird parts down there.
Yeah, what do they have?
That's why I'm just going to stick to the Michael Sam method. Ba-doom.
Yeah, what does Michael Sam deadlift?
I don't know. He looks jacked.
He's a monster. Let's get him on the show. We'll
He
make
looks-
that happen.
He looks strong.
We'll talk to Oprah. Maybe we'll have Oprah and Michael Sam
I'd be
on
like, is
together.
that the show that says gay all the time? Talks about poop?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I think we got. Well, hey, we haven't had a chance for people because the video of that episode where we asked the question about what we should say instead of gay just went up today, and we asked for the comments on the video. So maybe people will.
What
We'll
should
comment.
we say that's not so gay
I have no idea.
today?
I
have
pee
no
when
idea.
I fart, but I don't fart. It doesn't work both ways. That was a great haiku. I can't even remember it. That should be on like
Luckily,
a
it was
Hallmark
recorded
card.
for all time.
Yeah, it should be on a Hallmark card.
on a lot of things, on everything.
I forget.
Well, if the opposite was true, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
if you peed every time you farted,
Yeah,
it's still bad that you fart every time you pee.
every time.
Every single time. Do you
Every
sit
time.
down to pee?
I should, baby.
Would that
Oh,
be
In case
at,
I shit
at
myself.
night?
Would that be
At night. That's the only
Gay?
wise strategy.
Would
At
that be
night.
gay?
No.
That's not gay.
Well, it's dark, so nobody can see. So
Oh, no one sees me in the toilet, anyways.
If so, that's what you think.
Yeah.
the NSA.
So they're watching. What about those probe or like helicopter cameras? That shit's weird. That came out in the news like 2 weeks ago. Did you hear that? You
Helicopters?
saw that? Like
yeah,
fucking
in
like
Compton.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they might use them everywhere or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
but
sketchy.
they're
The man's
using
watching
them all over Compton.
All
Compton.
what?
Compton.
Wait, all
That's
over
just a
what?
Freudian slip there.
What the what? All over the condom. Oh my god. Hey now.
What's the term? Condominium.
condiment is bad?
Kind
too,
of maximum.
Condominium's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Condominium is bad.
Yeah.
Well, in Rocky, he somebody comes up to Rocky in like Rocky 2 or maybe Rocky 3.
Rocky's been on TV a lot lately.
And they ask him if he wants to invest in condominiums. He's
Yeah.
like, I got this really great investment. You might want to, invest in some
what type of protection?
condominiums? He's like, hey, he leans over. He's like, I don't use them so much,
yeah.
And he walks away. It's amazing.
So subtle, so great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hey, that's a good impression. You're pretty good.
Whatever.
Impersonation, not even
Don't be
impression.
swinging off my fucking sack.
That's gay.
Anyway,
That would be gay.
a lot. We have actually had a lot of positive response from the last episode, which was actually
Why is
recorded
that?
well over a month ago.
And we were just
I
talking
don't know
shit.
when then will be now.
I don't know either.
No,
but
there you go with your haikus. What are
See?
you, fucking Buddha today?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
When
I,
then becomes now, we get wiser.
Okay.
well, I've seen a number of comments, and I actually got hit up on Facebook by a someone who's a fan, who's also a Facebook friend of mine, who lost. He went from 450 pounds to like 230.
Not on our
Damn.
shitty device. Not our shitty
No,
advice.
I think it. I don't know who is doing what here, but things are popping off all over the place.
I just pop off. Touch this. and
Turn
something
down
else.
for what?
I don't know.
Wow, that was weird. Am I still on here?
Yeah,
Hello?
you're still on. You're still on. You're
Sadly.
fine. I don't know what's happening. Anyway,
There's another guy that tweeted us. I already gave him a shout out on a different episode, but he dropped like from 250 to 180 with help from you in particular. You said,
Right.
That's amazing. I've only gotten fatter hanging out with you
Well,
and
the,
weaker.
I've had that compliment before. I think the thing is with the the carb night diet that I end up recommending, or that's recommended on my YouTubes, is that it can be very effective, and I kind of refer to it as a fat guy diet. And one thing to keep in mind with a diet like that is that if you're someone who's just looking to lose like 10 pounds and you're already in good shape, I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can go about doing it, and you probably don't need to suffer through not eating any carbohydrates. There's probably some other methods and stuff.
10 pounds, get a little more active, drop soda.
There's probably some other ways to go about doing
Stop
it.
eating at AM, PM.
And I'm never going to say that a keto diet is the best diet. I don't think there's a best diet. There's a lot of different ways to go about doing it, but what I refer to with the low carb diet is it being like a fat guy diet. It's like fat guy friendly.
Right.
Like
Wings?
I don't really know any fat guys that don't like stuff that has fat in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a good cheeseburger. You could still have a cheeseburger.
I
You
used
could
to
have
eat
bacon.
In and Out all the time, just lettuce wrapped.
Omelets. You can still eat pork,
Steak.
steak, chicken wings.
Steak's like kind of a typical like guys like steak, girls don't. I don't know why
Yeah,
they say
right.
that, but it's true.
Right. I mean, some girls will
Yeah,
chow
of
down
course,
on some
of
steak.
course. Those girls are gross. I hope they don't.
Well,
hang
they're
out with
sluts,
me.
but
Yeah, steak
Anyway.
chowing, Michael Sam Eaton,
son of a bitch.
son of a gun.
But while I was on this vacation for a little over 2 weeks, I lost like 7-8 pounds. And
Pure Guinness diet.
yeah, no, I drank beer. I ate ice cream.
You went
but
dancing every night.
I literally had 2 big meals a day. And I was
Right.
active all day long.
But
every
you went
day.
through probably decent durations every day of being hungry.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
and
that's-
and constantly on the move.
That's kind of
you
a
know?
good feeling.
Well, that's
Yeah.
People forget that. Like,
Well,
it
it's
kinda feels
important.
good
And it's
sometimes.
important for people to know that, like, when you first start a diet, that you should probably avoid that.
Yeah.
But once you get into a diet and you're on week 2 or 3 and you're starting to go, why am I getting results?
Right.
Then you're going to have to start to figure out ways of occupying your time so you're
Yeah.
not always eating.
I meant
Right.
more mentally sometimes. Like right now, I'm hungry and it's kind of a weird feeling, but
Well,
it's good.
yeah,
Like,
there's,
we benched all fucking morning and now we're podcasting.
Right, and there's some like research behind some of
Oh,
that.
sure.
You hear people talk about how your mind is sharper, but you just think about it in simple terms, like with like kids. You know, when kids are in, preschool. You know, they give them some carbs, they give them fucking macaroni and cheese, and then they have nap time.
Right.
You know,
Makes some
so
sense.
things like that are going to kind of slow you down in a way. And so when you're hungry, you know,
Why is mac and cheese so good?
Oh, it's fucking great.
It's like the worst though.
Yeah.
You ever put Red Hot in mac and cheese?
No, I just eat mac and cheese any form, anywhere.
Holy
Annie's.
shit!
Have you had Annie's? I know, like if you get nice
Yeah.
homemade shit, but Annie's is so goddamn good.
It's good.
It'll fuck you up though.
I don't know about homemade. I think you can go ghetto style on mac and cheese. I think some things you can go.
Yeah, I agree.
It
Out of
doesn't
the
matter.
box. No, but some homemade shit like baked, blah 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 blah, is so
Yeah.
good. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Mac and cheese rocks though.
But I will say that when we were eating really good quality food and we were eating, there's a lot of farm-to-table restaurants in
Yeah,
in
maybe
Ireland.
you don't. Yeah, and probably the farming's probably better. Maybe it's the fucking GMOs and bullshit are real.
I had a couple of steaks there that were the best steaks I've ever had anywhere.
you need to head down to Argentina.
They were delicious.
Well, I think also like if you're only eating a few meals a day, 2 or 3, and you're traveling and you're going from restaurant to restaurant, the odds of you having a regular entree and a regular meal are increased. So you're going to have a protein with
Right.
some carbs.
Yeah.
And you know, hopefully you don't overindulge and have like crazy amounts of fat or whatever.
Yeah, but real restaurants are actually healthy.
yeah, you're going to have
You go to a real fucking restaurant
Yeah,
and you're getting
fancy,
steak,
yeah.
maybe mashed potatoes that have a little fat
Mm-hmm.
and some fucking veggies.
and it could be calorie rich. Like that's
Yeah.
not really what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have a protein, you're going to have a starch, and you're going to have a vegetable.
yeah. And then sex for
pretty
dessert.
Oh yeah.
In my condominium.
The breakfast was a little bit of a thing, though, because we were staying in bed and breakfast, and they want to feed you really bad in Ireland. Like, they want to make sure that you eat. I don't know why, but they usually have a menu of 6-8 different things you can choose from. One of them is the full Irish breakfast, which is eggs.
Don't tell me there's potatoes involved.
Oh, yeah, there's potatoes.
There's fucking
The
potatoes.
potato famine.
There's eggs, there's potatoes, there's bacon and sausage.
Why do they do that?
And
to
then
you?
what they call black and white pudding, which is essentially like the black pudding is a blood pudding, and
the
it's like
I don't even know what that
it's
means.
like
Is it
grains.
dessert?
It's like think of it like a sausage.
Oh,
but not-
okay.
But then
okay.
you
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
up and you just get a
I
couple
got
little
you.
slices of it.
I
It's
got
whatever.
you.
It's just kind of for taste.
Yeah.
But I did that one time, and that was way too much food for in
Yes.
one meal. So later in the trip, I asked at a different place. I asked, "Can I just get some scrambled eggs and bacon?" And the guy still put everything on the plate. I mean,
Awesome.
you just can't. They can't peel it back. They just want you to eat so bad. They're the nicest people in the world. They want you to eat though. And
Eat up.
I didn't see a lot of fat people on this trip either. Believe it or not.
Get your meat up and eat up.
Which is sometimes hard to judge, you know, especially if you're in touristy areas.
Right.
Who are you seeing, you know?
Right.
Yeah, a bunch of
I'd
Russians.
imagine the people in red pants, they're probably Irish, but
Yeah.
Or
other
Russian.
than that.
Well, some of the places we were in Ireland, they were not particularly touristy. So
Right.
London was a different story. I think we saw a little bit of everything.
Well, I think America's still number 2. Who does number 2 work for?
Exactly.
Who does number 2?
Number 1's Mexico in terms of fatness and
Why is
obesity and disgustingness.
I wonder if they break down what's our fattest state, Texas. I wonder if Texas. compared to
Ohio.
Mexico. Ohio's bad, but I think Texas by the
Yeah.
numbers is the worst. If you compare
well,
Texas to Mexico, I bet you Texas wins.
Some sort of southern place.
yeah.
New Orleans
Yeah,
is bad
yeah.
too.
Oh, I think Matt Vincent tipped the scale on that one.
Yeah, see, there you
he
go.
made him win.
Matt Vincent done fucked it up.
You done did it.
I think we're good, right?
I think we're good, man.
I mean, we had Max Aida in here wrecking some shit,
We're gonna get him on the PowerCast.
lifting some heavy stuff.
What a freak, man.
Make sure you check out that video, which probably won't coincide with this, but
Soon enough.
soon enough.
He'll be
you'll
in the
see it.
week, but where he's gonna be lifting with us, probably podcasting with us.
We got David Ziski, who's been coming in, smashing some big weights.
We're strong again.
We got some savages lying around.
Yeah. Ramos doing the meat. Max Aida doing the
Yeah,
meat.
Ramos crushed 660, and Aida did 650 for 5.
And if you wouldn't guess, the announcer of the fucking show, Dick.
Oh my God, I'm doing the meat. Whoa.
Ben Chalmers.
I'm sponsoring myself and BSN
This is
and
Dick
Finally.com.
Dick Lickerson and sponsored by Macaroni and Cheese.
Fattest state, Mississippi.
Oh, that makes sense.
Alabama.
Fattest state, Matt Nickerson.
West Virginia. Tennessee.
Now Davis, California,
Yeah.
because Dick Lickerson lives there.
Lickerson.
What is your state? My state is fat.
I'm about to say, may all your shits be tapered, but I think we should have a cameo.
Dick Lickerson. Dick
And
Lickerson.
so I'm going to have Dick Lickerson be my stand-in. And
he's going to sign us off.
He's going to
Let's
say,
give our Instagrams first, and then he can sign us off.
Okay.
No, you can come in the screen, honey. Come on in.
Okay.
Come on in.
Show everybody
You
your
can find me
beautifulness.
at Silent Mike with 2 Ks on Instagram and Twitters.
You can find me at Mark Smellybell on the Twitters and the Instagrammers.
I'm Jim McD, STTV, every place. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, supertraining.tv, assholes.
At STJimSack. Facebook /SupertrainingGym. There is a website where all of this stuff is curated. It's called supertraining.tv. Go there.
Supertraining.tv.
You can listen to this show directly off of the website. The website is now super fast. It's on the Amazon servers. It's
Dude, Amazon.
amazing.
The fucking biggest river in the world.
And
Hi.
I don't think he heard you, Mark Bell. He doesn't know the
What's the
sign-off.
line?
He doesn't know the
What's the
official
line?
sign-off.
okay, the line
No one
is,
listens to the podcast all the way through.
may all your shits be tapered.
That's the sign-off.
May all your shits be taped.
Tapered.
Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Let's get a little
Take
deeper.
2.
That was only like from the throat. We need to get it from the stomach and the chesticle area.
His
may
groin.
may all your shits be tapered.
May all your shits be tapered.
Later.
I love it.
Subscribe to Power Magazine at thepowermagazine.com. If you choose the digital edition, you can catch up on all the great back issues, take your training to the next level with Slingshot products and howmuchyoubench.net, and look for BSN products including NO Explode at bodybuilding.com. Mark Bell's PowerCast is a production of supertraining.tv.